Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second segment of the May 26th Trips and Traps. I'm Andy Serling, joined by Eric Donovan.
Two turf races from Sunday to bring you in this segment. We'll start off with race number 3, a maiden special weight for New York breds. Going a mile and an eighth, fillies and mares in action here, and we're going to look at the 8-horse Little Ray.
Yeah, Little Ray as a horse actually was stretching out for trainer Randy Persaud and may have somewhat found the right field all the way on the outside in here. But interesting in that she's a horse, and we'll circle her again, that I had been interested in her last race, which feels like it was about 10 minutes before, at 6 furlongs because of her debut on the turf was sneaky good. I did not think she got a good ride in her second start on the turf, but of course I bet her, so obviously she got a bad ride because she didn't win. And I disagree with somebody who said she needs to stretch out. Well, I think that person ended up being right because she stretched out in this race and ran effectively.
Yeah, usually you don't like to see closing sprinters stretching out, but Little Ray lost a little bit of ground going into the first turn. Looks like it's going to settle toward the back of the pack here, but as soon as they straighten out onto the backstretch, apprentice Ryan Curatolo is going to start to advance her, and he's not pushing her to make this big move, but I think in some respect once he gets her to the clear and on the outside and gives her a cue, she just kind of takes off at him a little bit, so she'll work her way from the back of the pack to sitting fifth right behind the speed and then a couple more strides.
Right, and as a horse coming out of a couple of sprint races where she's essentially a closer, even though she was ridiculously aggressively ridden in her last start, she is going to be closer to the pace, but with that outside post it sort of hurt her from a tactic standpoint. Listen, nobody was beating the winner of this race. The winner of this race had the rail, she's a heavy favorite. She was better than these horses, and she had all dynamics in her favor. But to have the outside post stretching out the way Little Ray did, and the way the race sort of unfolded for her, I think she ran perfectly acceptably to run second. There are no killers in here, but what killers is she going to meet down the road?
Yeah, this is true, and I think it's almost a race where she ran almost 2 races in. I mean, she made the move to get into contention here to this point, and now right here, Curatolo is going to give her another cue to get in gear again. Going to pass these couple of horses in front of her toward the inside here. She's going to be second, turning for home, and she'll get a little tired coming down the stretch here, and obviously, Littlehammer is just going to run away with this race in here, but still able to hold on second. Got another turn of foot here after making that move around the backstretch, and that's what I liked about her. She kind of ran in 2 spots here.
No, I can't. You can't really argue with the fact that she at least ran from that turn to the other, from one turn the back to the other turn, where she had to get the position because with the outside post, and she really did run for a good 5/8 of this race. And not that she was not. She was putting herself into position for a good portion of this race, and it's something Richard McGlory talks about with horses moving forward. You like horses moving forward, and she's a good example of that. But she had to be aggressively ridden. She wasn't winning. She ran an improved effort. I'm still not sure. I wonder if 7 furlongs to a mile, and obviously you got to take the races you get. I liked in her first start how she made that run from the back. She got a fast pace. Her second start, she was way too aggressively ridden from the start at 6 furlongs to be put in the race as a one-run closer. She wanted to make one run. She showed here she's a tractable horse, and she can find the right field in her next start.
Well, with Randy Persaud calling the shot, she's probably going to run back about 5 more times before we head up to Saratoga. So, she'll get a 7 furlong start. She'll get a mile start. She'll go back to 6. She'll stretch out to mile and eighth, and she'll find the range somewhere in the mix there.
Yeah, she will find a spot, that's for sure, or several.
One more race to bring you. This is a maiden special weight for New York breds going 7 furlongs on the turf. Fillies and mares. We're going to look at the 7 St. Kitten and the 12 with chocolate, a pair of first-time starters.
Yeah, and obviously St. Kitten, who finishes third, who was heavily bet in second choice for trainer Chad Brown, so one got more press. Watch her steadying badly there. You see the rider really sort of falling back. She's on the inside. Outside of her is With Chocolate. With Chocolate broke cleanly, and as you'll see when we show the head-on, was outside of any trouble in there. She'll just end up dropping just completely out of this race, and she's a firster who sneakily took some money for Bruce Brown, whose firsters don't get bet as strongly as Chad's. St. Kitten kind of got caught between a rock and a hard place in the stretch because the field spread out practically from inner rail to outer rail.
And the inside rail was out, way into the middle of the course. It must have been 27 feet. So when you try to swing out to the outside, you're really losing a lot of ground when you do that. Not as opposed to when the rails are down and you're running on the hedge in here. But it looked like you wanted to get St. Kitten out and thought better of it and tried to go inside, and things kind of jammed up on St. Kitten. But With Chocolate, still lagging toward the back of the pack here as they move around the turn, and a horse that really just kind of disappeared. Was up right next to St. Kitten in the early stages of the race, and I guess it's just greenness that got her toward the back of the pack.
There's St. Kitten. Just want to show you so you can keep your eye on her with that familiar red cap, those Ramsey silks. She gets in the picture. Just watch her, and you'll see what we mean. With Chocolate not in the picture at all, as Eric was saying. I mean, she just dropped, as Eric said, way, way back, and there she is right now getting the picture. St. Kitten is in here. Now, you'll see what happens. Obviously, Jose Lezcano wants to go around, but he begins to realize this horse is drifting badly. They're going out. They're way out in the course. So he tries to go in. That horse drifts out. She's a little bit green, and she definitely has some trouble there. Now he can get her the outside, but it's a tough situation. With Chocolate's not in here, and I thought with Chocolate's Javier Castellano just knew he was too far out of it. She wasn't getting a first-time starter, and he rode her out in this race, and you'll see her come running a bit at the end. St. Kitten, there she is right in there, and you can watch again. Now, we'll show you the start. Keep your eye on the 7, and you're going to see why St. Kitten got in so much trouble early.
Break from the gate, and there'll be a St. Kitten sandwich as a couple of horses come over on her from both sides. It seems like more from the outside a little bit, but there you go. He has to steady a little bit there, and he's going to bounce up and down as the horse takes a little stumble.
And it's been one thing in noticing with Jose Lezcano, who's just, as we said, been riding so well here, he has not panicked. You see him in that situation where he's not grabbing really strongly. I mean, obviously, you saw in the pan he got in real trouble there, but he's not panicking. He's not grabbing a hold of the horse and dragging it out of the race. He's trying to go with the flow. Interesting horses, both of whom can run well. Obviously, St. Kitten's going to take a lot of money. With Chocolate, won't take as much. That's the one I'm going to try to catch.
Yeah, no, with Chocolate, we got some viewer emails about that horse too, and that was a good find by the viewers, because this horse was really just clueless. It seemed like from shortly after the break until they hit the far turn. It seemed like with Chocolate just had no idea what she should be doing out there, and then finally when she straightened out for home, she kind of figured it out and got into gear and only got beat 4 lengths at the wire.
No, I agree, and that's what happens with first-time starters. She'll have so much more speed in her second start. You won't believe it's the same horse. Anyway, keep them coming. Trips and Traps at NYRAInc.com.
Thanks for watching.